Out of focus at this hour, a powerful earthquake ripped through Venezuela, turning streets into scenes of panic and destruction. The deadly quake left 164 people killed and 900 injured, leaving a nation shaken by one of its most terrifying disasters. The U.S. Geological Survey says that there is a substantial probability of the death toll even exceeding 10,000. Powerful quakes also rocked Japan and California, raising one chilling question. Is there a hidden connection between these disasters? Our next report explains.
The panic, the desperation to escape. People running to save their lives. Buildings falling, house of cards. Chaos and confusion. Two powerful earthquakes have struck Venezuela. An ordinary evening into an inescapable nightmare. Normal life in Caracas came to a sudden stop.
The building moved from side to side because it was incredible. And well, luckily there weren't many people in the building either, because can you imagine the panic of people trying to get out of there? No, that's incredible. And well, what can I really say?
Several structures collapsed, leaving streets covered with debris. Two quakes striking in less than a minute after each on busy Caracas roads. Panic spread as people ran out of homes, offices and shops trying to escape the shaking ground.
It was terrible. It was terrible. Everything collapsed. Everything. That was terrible. That's something I wouldn't wish on anyone. A terrible experience.
Inside Caracas, rescue teams moved quickly through damaged areas. They searched through piles of rubble, looking for survivors trapped beneath collapsed buildings.
And there's a spot where a young woman named Jennifer from the 11th floor answers me. However, we don't have any tools. We have no way to help. She answers, and a few meters away, right there in that area, are two brothers. One is named Daniel, and I don't know the other's name.
Back-to-back tremors have left behind a trail of death and destruction across Venezuela. The two quakes hit in less than a minute. Yet Venezuela was not alone. Within hours, separate powerful tremors shook Japan and California, completing a sequence of 4 quakes across 3 continents. The rapid timing immediately sparked fears of a hidden apocalyptic connection. However, seismologists have quickly dismissed the conspiracy theories. While Japan and California sit on the notoriously active Ring of Fire, scientists say there is absolutely no physical link between these specific events. The events serve as a reminder of the unpredictable power of nature and the importance of understanding the forces hidden beneath the Earth's surface. Bureau Report, Wion, World is One.
On your screens right now, these are the live visuals of the aftermath following the deadly dual quakes that jolted the Venezuelan capital. It's afternoon. Authorities are carrying out cleaning operations. We know that debris is strewn across the streets of Caracas, which is Venezuela's capital, as rescuers dig through the wreckage of collapsed buildings to locate the survivors. Across other affected parts of Venezuela, a picture of the damage is still emerging, as power and internet outages also add to the chaos. Joining us live from Caracas, Venezuela is Diego Sequeira, political analyst, journalist and columnist. Diego, thank you for joining us during this difficult moment. We also know that USGS says there is a risk of more than 10,000 deaths. The official casualty totals have been slow to come in. Do you agree with this?
Well, yeah, thank you for having me first. There's a strong possibility, of course, that the numbers will go up. Especially because, yes, officially we got 164 deaths and close to 1,000 wounded. But the number of missing people, it's very high. Thousands of people are missing, especially not Caracas itself, but La Guaira, which has been the hardest stricken part of the whole country. La Guaira, it's a coastal city, half an hour drive from Caracas. That's where the worst have been happening so far. You can see the post-apocalyptic footage of all the buildings that have been collapsing and the people that have been missing and the chaos and the destruction. Luckily, there's also a lot of people who survived, but then we'll see afterwards the infrastructure damage. But in Caracas specifically, especially on the eastern side of Caracas, where precisely the fault line, Caracas is a seismical city, mind you. We didn't have just a quake of this dimensions in a very long time. So the fault line that goes through Caracas, goes through eastern part of Caracas, which was the hardest hit, where most of the buildings have collapsed and most of the wounded and dead are in Caracas. There are other areas of Caracas, southwestern Caracas also was hard hit and parts of downtown. But the major devastation is La Guaira state. Macuto, Caraballeda, Los Corrales, everything. It's a string of coastal small patches of city. This is the part that has been hit the worst, and where most of the the missing people are.
Diego, there's also another reality seemingly what is unfolding that the UN has urged a lift on media access restrictions, calling it a matter of life and death. How grave is the information crisis right now, especially considering there are so many people trapped and cannot reach out to their loved ones?
I don't know exactly. I haven't seen anything that problematic in that sense, other than the internet connection, the reception and the data. But there's a lot of citizen journalism going on, a lot of chains of information, people basically becoming quite active in transmitting the information. There are also new databases of people where people can fill in the details of their loved ones that could be missing in order to cross that data afterwards and see if some of these people appear. But I don't see at this moment, there's no strong censorship. You might have problems with logistics, as in going from one place to another, especially where places are blocked or something like that. But it's something like some sort of media gap that's not going on.
It's good to know that people are not struggling right now, Diego, but we also know that over the past few years, sanctions have been partially eased on the country but not fully removed. How will this reality shape the inflow of relief into the country?
Well, sanctions have been relieved, some of them, some waivers have been relieved actually this year after the military operation and the kidnapping of Nicolás Maduro. Before that, there was no easing at all regarding the sanctions. And what is happening has a lot to do with sanctions in the sense that regarding maintenance, updating gear and everything else for emergency prevention and so on. Same with infrastructure, maintenance and building. So it has already, it's part of the manifestations of the impact on sanctions on a natural disaster level. How it will be after this, I don't know. I don't know if the United States is going to allow issue more waivers regarding this. There's a lot of help from many places in the region and throughout the world that's coming over, including the United States. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, especially, yes, reconstruction is a big question, but still, like our president and interim president said yesterday, last night, first, the main priority now is saving lives, and then the assessment on infrastructure will come. But 100% of the efforts now, as far as I know and as far as I've seen, is mostly focused on just taking people out of the rubble, which there's a lot of footage of successful rescues of many people. So that's also good news among a very big set of bad news. So that's important. So each life now, it's what matters the most. And we'll see what happens regarding
of
the
course,
considerations
the politics can
regarding
wait, but
sanctions.
the rescue has to continue, Diego. We agree to that. For now, the race is against time and against the mounting fear that the death toll could climb much higher. We definitely hope that Venezuela recovers and jumps back quick on its feet. Thank you so much for joining us during this difficult period.
Thank you. Thank you always.